No matter what age your child is, you want the best for their future. What do they want to do after graduation? What career path do they want to take? These questions can be overwhelming. That's why you should ask them this question. What's your E? Seminole County Public Schools ePathway program is designed for your student to choose their own path in life from as many options as we can offer. Whether they're looking to enlist, enroll, or be employed, we're excited to help you and your child make it happen. Want them to enroll in a college or university? We'll help you find the best school for them to continue their education. Learn about grants and programs to help your child obtain their degree at a pace and a cost that works for you both. Are they looking to go straight into employment? Discover a variety of trades and skills that will propel their future. They can learn aviation maintenance, automotive repair, culinary arts, and more to hone their talents in growing industries. Is your child interested in enlistment? We'll help them find the right path of service, whether it's military, law enforcement, fire response, or EMS. They can serve the community while learning skills that will last a lifetime. What's your E? Explore options with ePathways by visiting us online at the link below.
What inspired me to get into engineering was Lego. So I started as a kid, as most kids do, working with Legos and just kind of doing your own thing, building the Lego sets. And I would often take apart my Lego sets, mix them together, and build something completely new. Then in about 4th grade, I was introduced to Lego robotics, which is where you have a actual robot that you could program, and you start with this brick, and that would feed information to Lego motors, and it would all communicate as a system, and you could do a lot of really cool robotic tasks with that. And that was really the start of me looking into engineering. The engineering I'm looking to pursue at first is mechanical engineering. This is what I'm going to go to UCF for, and this is going to be the start of my career. A mechanical engineer can really do anything. They work with a lot of thermodynamics and a lot of vibrations and really just anything that moves. So a lot of fields use mechanical engineering. I wanted to go past that and specialize into biomedical engineering, which is more along the lines of surgical robotics and medical machinery. I wanted to develop surgical robots, and with that I need to know exactly how the human body functions and how it functions with robotic systems. Essentially, I'll be able to design a system where a person will be able to communicate with a motor and hopefully improve their quality of life, whether this be through a surgical robot that a doctor is controlling or whether it's prosthetic that's motorized.
I taught Josh his freshman year. He was so good with that inventor material. He picked up on it very quickly. He was ready to jump in and help other students, which I really, really appreciated. And he has carried those characteristics with him as he has moved through the program. And now with his journey moving forward in bioengineering, I can't wait to see what he's going to make with his knee brace and the orthotics that he's trying to produce.
The current prosthetic I'm looking at developing is a load-bearing knee brace in which I'm going to take a motor or servo and attach that to the knee, which will enable a person to be able to push past what their muscles currently are able to do, whether that be because of muscle fatigue or osteoarthritis in the kneecap where they're not able to put a lot of pressure on their knee. Current knee braces really only work when walking. There's still a lot of pain when there's extra forces being applied to the knee, such as walking upstairs or standing up from sitting down, things you and I normally don't think about. But for someone that has severe arthritis in their knee, this is hugely painful.
The strongest advantages of project-based learning, that hands-on experience that allows you to manipulate that material, really solidifies in the brain exactly how those things work.
The thing I would say about this program where it exceeds the most is the more you use it, the more it'll benefit you.
Good evening. Oh, now we're on. Perfect. All right. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call to order the April 16th meeting. It is 5:30 p.m. right now. Welcome, everyone. Looks like we have a great crowd tonight, and we're super excited to celebrate with so many wonderful students and employees. At this time, we have Ms. I would like to say that in attendance, our Vice Chair Kraus is in attendance, Member Autumn Garrick, Member Kelly Davis, and Member, oh my gosh, I'm going blank, Amy Pennick. And of course, our attorney over there, I don't know, I'm sorry, I was looking down there and I didn't put my glasses on. That's like, okay. I know, I think we all have since 9 o'clock this morning, or 8:30. And our attorney, Carlene Cole-Palmer, and to the left of me, our Superintendent, Sarita Beeman, and to the left of her, our clerk, Jill Moramus. All right, and now, you want to do the
Invocation.
Yes.
We have Miss Claudine Clay, a teacher at Wicklow Elementary, who will introduce the student providing the invocation and pledge tonight. Come on up.
Good evening. My name is Claudine Clay, and I am the facilitator for the Ladies of Excellence Mentoring Group at Wicklow Elementary. I would first like to thank Ms. Beeman, as well as the board, for the opportunity to be here this evening and participate in this amazing group. Here with me this evening is my principal, Dr. Windish, my assistant principal, Mrs. Haney, and Mariana Garcia Torres. She was one of the ladies who participated in the group this year.
Good evening, members of the school board. My name is Mariana Garcia Torres, and today I would like to share with you how the Ladies of Excellence Club has changed my life and my point of view for a lot of things. This club has taught me to change my This club has taught me to change my perspective on myself and others in a better way. I like to think about myself in a positive way than I normally would. The club has also taught me how to handle hard situations like bullying, insults, and problems in general. I usually solve these problems, as I have learned in our club, by reminding myself that I'm a good person and that I should believe in myself no matter what other people say or do. The people in this club have also helped me through hard times and celebrated with me on the good times. This is my 5th grade year, my last year of elementary school, and I want to cherish it in the best way possible before I go to middle school. This school year has been amazing, not only in the club, but also as a student at Wicklow Elementary. I believe this club has made a great impact in my life and on my peers. Thank you for listening, and I hope this club continues to empower young children for the future. Now, would everyone please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance? Place your right hand over your heart. Let's begin. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Wow. Absolutely amazing. Thank you for sharing that in your club. I love it. You know, it's great to embrace each other and always be kind to each other, and extremely proud of you. Thank you. All right. Let me see if I have any. Yes, I do. Acknowledgements of anybody here. And Katie Murphy from our Seminole County PTA. Where's Katie? I didn't see her. Anybody see Katie Murphy? Well, hi, Katie, if you're around. I don't see her. We have one form for her. All right. Addendum for good cause?
Okay, yes. The addendum for good cause is marked on our electronic agenda by a green flag named addendum item. And board members, tonight I'm pulling item 6X the Rimini Street Agreement, and I will bring that back at with an updated recommendation at a subsequent meeting.
All right. School board members, roll call for today again. Vice Chair Kraus, Member Pennick, Member Davis, Member Garrick, and then myself. Is that
No
correct?
modifications, thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you. I
Chair.
was just getting, any modifications from you?
No modifications.
Thank you.
Nope.
No modifications, Member Davis? How about you, Member Garrick?
No modifications. Thank you, Chair.
All right, thank you. No modifications, thank you. All right, now, I think we have some, yep. Is there a motion for the agenda to be approved as read?
Motion.
Second?
All right, motion, and there was a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Superintendent, do we have any presentations or recommendations?
Yes, we do. We have a number. We can get started with our Veteran of the Month teacher, Jeremiah Catherwood, introduced by Principal Breezy Erickson.
Wonderful.
Good evening. It is my pleasure to introduce you to Sergeant Jeremiah Catherwood, currently an ELA teacher at Greenwood Lakes Middle School. Sergeant Catherwood attended basic combat training for the Army in Fort Jackson, South Carolina in 2005. After basic training, he attended the Defense Foreign Language Basic Korean Language Program in Monterey, California. Upon graduation, he went on to complete his signal intelligence and cryptolinguistic training at Goodfellow Air Force Base near San Angelo, Texas. He then went on to serve in a direct support of Operation Iraqi Freedom in the 15th Military Intelligence Battalion at Fort Hood, Texas. He was deployed in 2009 at Balad, Iraq to support the Status of Forces Agreement that transitioned Operation Iraqi Freedom to Operation New Dawn. Following his deployment, he returned to active support for Operation New Dawn and Operation Enduring Freedom from the SCIF at Fort Hood. Sorry, Sergeant Catherwood, I had to look it up, and it stands for Sensitive Compartmented Informational Facility. Good stuff there. Wanting to continue the Army philosophy of selfless service in our country, he moved to Orlando, Florida, and began working in nonprofit grant writing. In 2012, he went on to found Central Florida Sounds of Freedom Marching Band and Color Guard nonprofit with fellow music enthusiasts. From his work in nonprofit, he moved into working in a variety of careers before getting involved in assisting young writers with editing. He worked for a number of years assisting young editors in writing, creating novels. He also worked as a freelance editor for Legal Journal. His work with writers gave him the courage to enter a teaching career, where he shared his knowledge with the next generation. He is a first-year teacher at Greenwood Lakes Middle School, where he teaches 8th grade ELA and journalism. Congratulations, Mr. Catherwood. We look forward to seeing you continue service here in Seminole County. Thank you for all that you have done and you do.
All right, good evening, board members and Superintendent Beeman. We've got a lot of spirit in the audience here tonight from our cheerleaders and athletic teams that are state champions that we're going to recognize. All right, first up, we are going to recognize the 2A state champions for cheerleading, the extra-large, non-tumbling division, Lake Mary High School cheerleading team. Come on up. Did I read it wrong? They're looking at me like, huh? Well, Lake Mary High School cheerleading team with tumbling. They wrote it in here as non-tumbling, so I apologize. The Lake Mary varsity competition cheer team won first place at the 2024 FHSAA state competition held in Lakeland, Florida in the 2A extra-large tumbling division. This is the 8th consecutive year Lake Mary has won first place in this division. And this team is made up of 27 girls from 9th through 12th grade and is led by head coach Paige Black. This is a hardworking group of young ladies that strive to continue this Lake Mary cheer dynasty. Say something that's important in a minute. So while they're taking that picture, I know there was a lot of chatter. I want to make sure you hear this. This is the 8th consecutive year that Lake Mary has won this first place state champion, which is amazing. So congratulations to this team. And as you see up here, I want to thank Dr. Reynolds as well for coming, and congratulations, Lake Mary High School tumbling cheerleading team. All right, next up, we have the 2A state champion for cheerleading in the large, this is, I believe, the non-tumbling category. Please welcome the Lake Brantley High School competitive cheerleading team. This is their second state championship for Lake Brantley, and we're very proud of the commitment of these athletes as they continue to strive for a more competitive team. This season, they've won the UCA Regional Champions for their division and also finished 4th in the high school nationals. All right, congratulations, Lake Brantley cheerleading. All right, and our next group is the FHSAA cheerleading state runner-up for the medium non-tumbling class. Please welcome Hagerty High School cheerleading. During the 23-24 season, the Hagerty Cheer program posted runner-up finishes at the SAC Championships, UCA Regionals, FHSAA Regionals, FHSAA State Finals, and the UCA Nationals. I'd like to also congratulate and welcome their coach here this evening, Terry King, and assistant principal. Thank you for joining, Miss Colleen Wint. What's that? Wow, that's bold. All right, congratulations. As we move from some team recognitions, we're going to move into an individual, keeping with Hagerty High School. Joining us tonight for the FHSAA Wrestling State Runner-Up for the 3A 138 weight class. Please join me in congratulating Nicholas Blake. That's right, Nicholas. Wear that proudly around your neck there. During the 23-24 season, shh, listen up, listen up. I feel like I'm teaching. I'm back in the classroom, sorry. During the 23-24 season, Nicholas finished with a record of 56-2, only 2 losses, and a team record 45 pins. His team accolades tournament accolades include the Danny Byron champion, the Lake Mary TOC champion, War Eagle Classic champion, Flagler Rotary champion, FHSAA District champion, regional champion, and runner-up finish at the prestigious Knockout Christmas tournament. Most importantly, he is a National Wrestling Coaches Association All-American Scholar. Here tonight joining him is his coach, Scotty Diaz, and once again, assistant principal, Miss Colleen Wint. Congratulations, Nicholas. All right, so I mentioned spirit, and our next team is more than a team. This is a school with a ton of spirit and an amazing school culture. The Florida High School Athletic Association kicked off the Sunshine State Spirit Showdown in 2014 to promote sportsmanship and celebrate school spirit among member schools. Student sections are an essential component when it comes to supporting athletic teams, and I know we've all been to our games and seen our student sections in action, and we know they do a great job supporting our teams on the competitive surface. This year, we had 24 teams in the state of Florida submitted an application, including a video that showcased their level of spirit, and we are proud to announce that one of our very own right here in Seminole County has been crowned again the 2024 Sunshine State Spirit Showdown champions. Would you join me in congratulating this year's state champion, Lake Howell High School? As I mentioned, they submit a video, and so under the direction of Mr. Ayad, Mark Ayad, Lake Howell TV production students Keenan Prather, Jose Delgado, and Sinise Roundtree creating that winning video that promoted that sportsmanship and celebrates school spirit in Silverhawk style. The members of the FHSAA Student Advisory Committee score the entries on the criteria of sportsmanship, participation, organization of students, and spirit conveyed through the submissions. Fans then showed their spirit by voting in their favorite video on social media, which contributed to the overall scores. Oh my goodness. Well, I do want to say that this is the third time, y'all, third time in 6 years that Lake Howell has won this competition. Congratulations, guys. All right, staying with Lake Howell. At this time, I'd like to recognize their state champion in the 3A UNL weight class from Lake Howell High School, Janaya Rivera. Janaya is a two-time state qualifier and finished in the top 10 in 2023. And in 2024, Janaya was the Seminole Athletic Conference champion in traditional and the Olympic categories. She was also the district and regional champion in both categories and placed third in the state in the Olympic category to go along with her state championship in traditional. Also here with her tonight is the proud principal, one of the most spirited out there. We have a lot of great spirited principals, Mr. Michael Howard and Mr. Ayad, athletic director. Congratulations. Bummer. All right, now we're going to recognize some individuals from and a team as well from Winter Springs High School. We have several champions that we're going to call them up one at a time and recognize them for their outstanding achievements. By the way, go Bears, as Mr. Gaffney would say. I don't think he was able to make it tonight, but let's kick this off with our state runner-up for traditional and the Olympic format, the Winter Springs High School girls weightlifting team. Congratulations. Go Bears! These ladies have accumulated 4 top 2 state finishes to go along with their Seminole Athletic Conference FHSA district and regional team champions. Congratulations to the girls weightlifting team from Winter Springs High School. All right, congratulations. I don't know that the next 4 were able to attend tonight. They have conference track meets and different events also going on, but is Alexandria Green, did she make it? So I will just recognize the 3A 129 weight class traditional and Olympic champion from Winter Springs High School, Alexandria Green. Congratulations. Also from Winter Springs, was Unity able to make it? Not yet, also out. The 3A 154 weight class traditional and Olympic, Unity Brown. Congratulations to her. Amy Burrell. Amy Burrell? No, that's a big no over there. All right, Amy is the state champion for weightlifting in the 3A 119 weight class traditional, and also the runner-up, the state runner-up for weightlifting in that 119 weight class. Congratulations, Amy Burrell. And I don't believe Taylor Rice was able to make it, but Taylor is the state runner-up for the weightlifting 3A 183 weight class from Winter Springs High School as well. Congratulations. And I do believe that we have the state champion for wrestling in the 2A 138 weight class, senior Ryan Phillips. After finishing second in the state as a sophomore and third last year as a junior, Ryan continued to work hard, adding gold to his collection as a senior. He has also captured the 2 FHSAA regional titles, 2 Seminole Athletic Conference titles, and is the 3-time FHSAA district champion. Next year, Elijah will be continuing with his academic and athletic career at the U.S. Naval Academy. Congratulations. All right, good. Thank you. Congratulations. Next up, I'd like to recognize the individual state champion for wrestling 2A 144 weight class, senior J.J. Robinson. Racking up some more awards, this is J.J.'s second consecutive state championship after finishing third as a sophomore. He also won the Seminole Athletic Conference title, the FHSAA district title, FHSAA regional title, while breaking a school record for the most takedowns, 249, and most tournament championships, 9 in one season. Next year, JJ will be continuing his academic and athletic career at NC State University. Congratulations, JJ. And our final athlete here this evening as we wrap up the Winter Springs High School celebration, please join me as we recognize the individual state champion for wrestling 2A 170 weight class, senior Elijah Penton. As you can see, this is Elijah's second consecutive state championship after finishing third as a sophomore. He also won 2 FHSAA regional titles, 3 Seminole Athletic Conference titles, and is a 4-time district champion. Next year, Elijah is going to be joining Ryan as he continues his academic and athletic career also at the U.S. Naval Academy. And I'd like to thank everyone tonight, Mr. Gomrad, Athletic Director at Winter Springs High School, and all of our principals and athletic directors for joining us this evening. Students, congratulations. Those that are seniors, we'll see you in a few weeks. Have a great time.
Okay, where are we?
Oh, there you go. All those hands. Abby,
So you're next, you're on the fast.
Oh.
Oh, man.
No, we don't.
And drippy, drippy, drippy.
So you'll do the both set back first,
It's like, I thought it was thicker.
Yes.
All of a sudden, it was like dripping her.
that program on your voice.
Oh. Yeah.
That's a whole room.
Yes. I think I must have a cut or something.
It really was just like a couple weeks back, right? But it was before, I think it was before spring break, so.
Can you believe it? We literally have just
Right, let's go middle school.
Oh.
All right. Chair Sanchez, are we ready for our FOSA presentation.
We are. That would be
Okay.
great.
Board members, our FOSA tonight is regarding the Finding Your Voice Summit, led by Assistant Superintendent Demetria Faison and Dr. Cummings and team. And so I will turn it over to the team.
I don't think your mic's on. Hello, hello?
Good afternoon, board members, Superintendent Beeman. We are excited to be here. Want to share a little bit with you about the Girls Summit as well as kind of the program. First, I'd just like to say that this kind of came out of lunch with Mrs. Faison and I, which happens quite often, and we always talk about work. So, particular day, she had some concerns about discipline for 6th grade girls, and we shared a little bit about some of our concerns. I shared a little bit about 5th grade, and so the idea of coming together and trying to really put together some of our educational leaders from our schools, working with the young ladies to help them to discover and find their voice, work on some leadership skills, communication skills, as Mariana shared with you tonight. And so that's where the idea was born. So our goal was really just to bring these educational leaders and these girls together, pair them up with someone that we felt like would help them to plan their pathway for success. On the leads for the program is myself, Assistant Superintendent for Student and School Success, Mrs. Faison, Assistant Superintendent for Middle Schools, Miss Mills, who's in the audience, but Manager for Community Involvement, Dr. Nicola Williams, who's Coordinator for School Counseling and Educational Pathways, who also works with Mrs. Marissa Ellis, who is one of our lead counselors on the committee with us. So it was a team that came together and put the summit, which is the one-day program, together for the girls. And Marissa will share a little bit more about what happens during the school year. But it is a collaborative effort with several departments throughout the district. The first year we did the program last year, we had 12 schools represented. Those are the schools that are in pink. We had 120 students, and we held the summit here in the boardroom. Year two, this year, we had 19 schools represented and 211 girls, and we were at University of Central Florida. So the schools in black are the schools that we added this year. So we added some elementary schools and middle schools, looking at particular feeder patterns through the district to support those students and leaders of the clubs in our schools.
As Dr. Cummings shared, we hosted the one-day summit on March 1st as our event to kick off Women's History Month at the University of Central Florida in the ballrooms there, which was completely different than hosting it in this room last year. The girls was pretty excited about being on a college campus, and we wanted to give them a full conference experience. And so we had a Superintendent Beeman kick off and welcome the girls to the event. And our keynote speaker was Ms. Christy Kennedy, who's the owner of Queenfidence Image Consulting, and she really started off the event with such excitement, sharing her personal story, and also having the girls start thinking about their passions and their visions for their future. So I was very excited to have her as our keynote speaker. And then the rest of the program, we broke them out into 2 different sessions. So we had breakout sessions for girls in grades 5 and 6, and sessions for girls in grade 7. Those sessions were facilitated by members of the ePathways Department and our Student Support Services teams. We also had 3 external presenters. Again, Christy Kennedy, our keynote speaker, led the Unleashing the Power of Your Confidence session with the 5th and 6th graders. And then we had Yolanda Dion, a playologist, who led a mindful play and yoga session with the students. And then for our 7th grade breakout sessions, the external presenter was Xabriana Barton, who's a senior psychology major at FAMU and the founder of Becoming Her International, and she helped them with developing their vision boards. And so we wanted the girls to have, again, those experiences where they were being empowered, thinking about their voice, thinking about self-talk and resilience, and all of those skills to help them moving forward as they get older and navigate middle school and eventually high school in life after Seminole County Public Schools. And so we have a quick video to show you all the event. So next, I'm going to turn it over to Marissa Ellis, our school counselor on assignment from ePathways, to talk to you all about the actual initiative and the experience of the girls leading up to the One Day Girls Summit.
There you go, better. So I got to help this year expand the 2023 Finding Your Voice event. And so our goal was to provide some additional instruction to the girls participating in the Finding Your Voice event to reinforce some of the concepts and the topics that are discussed at the one-day program. So starting with the end in mind, we first looked at some of our initiatives that are found in the strategic plan. In my role as school counselor on assignment, I was there to create targeted, meaningful opportunities for school counselors and other collaborators to provide direct service to the girls leading up to the event. Some of our other goals were also to see, collect data to see if we can increase by 2% this number of students who identify a trusted adult, decreasing some of the discipline disproportionality of students in at-risk groups, and increasing the percentage of students who receive behavioral support or mental health services on campus. But most importantly, we designed our intervention based on the voices from the girls from 2023. They had an opportunity at that event to provide some feedback on what they wanted and what was missing from the event. And so they provided some very insightful feedback, as you can see. What they wanted more of was learning what to do when people talk about you, how to change their attitude, standing up for what's right in maybe an appropriate way, how to become your own person, being more of a leader rather than a follower, how to talk and kind of use those communication skills rather than fighting, how to control their anger, and increasing their self-confidence. So between those two, that's kind of what guided us in creating the small group intervention. And so with that information, we used the Girls in Real Life Situations curriculum and selected 6 lessons that kind of targeted the needs that we had. It started with a session titled Who Am I? This is really understanding self-concept. So lots of girls at this age talked about what mask you wear. Maybe you wear a different mask with your family than your friends and other groups of friends. And so kind of identifying what is your true self. Their Recipe for Success lesson discussed how your choices may impact you positively or negatively. And so we talked about the control that they have over those choices. In understanding emotions, they talked about, experiencing different emotions is part of what makes us human. And so learning to identify those feelings, understanding some of the triggers that we each have, and learning how to regulate. So they created emotional thermometers to kind of identify their hot buttons and kind of find some healthier ways to cope. For girls this age, relational aggression is really important. And so we talked about how to manage gossip, rumors, being excluded, things that most of us experience, and identifying what are good qualities in friends. So this time as you go into middle school, sometimes friends need to change, and that's okay as we all grow. The brag bag lesson, the girls this was one of the harder ones for the girls that they shared, identifying their strengths and really building self-esteem. So the groups gave them a safe place for them to talk about all the positive qualities that they each have, and our facilitators kind of encourage those things as well. And the last lesson was my mantra, which talked about using self-talk. There's going to continue to be obstacles, so what kind of self-talk can we use to build our resiliency and increase the girls' confidence, and you giving them that tool to move forward. So this is our participant data. There were 88 girls in the 5th grade groups that participated and received the small group intervention. 102 6th graders, these girls participated last year, but this year they also got the small group intervention. And then our 7th graders were girls who participated in Finding Your Voice last year at the event. In 7th grade, although they didn't receive the small group intervention, they met with their facilitator to provide some goal setting activities and to create a plan to help support them with their goals this school year. So total, we had 219 girls receiving that support. So part of this project was also to collect some outcome data to see how the girls performed over the school year. That data will be ongoing as the school year finishes, and there are lots of factors when we think about these kinds of measures, but we just wanted to spotlight 2 of our schools who had a decrease in both behavior and attendance. So the first of which is Altamont Elementary School, which was facilitated by Regina Marina, a school counselor. In her group, this is specific to the girls who participated, there were 80% of students who were minority, 90% free and reduced lunch students, and 30% of the students were students with disabilities, so that targeted some of our subgroups. The girls who participated in this group decreased the average number of discipline referrals by 50% from Q1 to Q3. And then when looking at their attendance, they had great results as well. Participants in this group decreased their average number of days absence by 40.9% from Q1 to Q3. In Sanford Middle School is another one of our schools who we'd like to highlight. This group was run by Maria Lucas, a school counselor. The students in the group, it consisted 75% minority, 100% free and reduced lunch, and 42% of the students were students with disabilities. There was a decrease in their discipline referrals as well by 36% from Q1 to Q3. And attendance had a smaller decrease, and that's a challenging number to move, but the participants in that group still were able to decrease their average number of days by 1.2% from Q1 to Q3. At the Finding Your Voice event, we were able to hold a group session with the girls to kind of recap on the things that they learned and get some feedback from them. On the survey they completed, 96% of those girls reported learning at least one coping skill. 86% of the girls reported feeling more connected to their peers, and 89% of the girls reported having a trusted adult on campus as a result of the Finding Your Voice intervention. To the right, you'll see a word cloud. The girls were asked what was one takeaway they took from this experience and participating in the small group intervention. And you'll see all kinds of comments they left. I think it's important to note the most common response the girls said was, "You're not alone." And I think that really speaks to the power of a small group intervention. That was not one of the topics discussed, but obviously the facilitators created an environment where the girls were able to share and really connect and feel like they weren't alone. This was a large project with a lot of collaboration. And so you'll see we have all of our facilitators at all the schools from a wide range of roles and positions in their schools.
I think the bigger thing that we definitely wanted to share was really bringing together middle school facilitators with elementary school facilitators and really talking about the transition so that girls leave the elementary school already with a connection to a facilitator in the middle school. So they have someone to connect with. Mrs. Faison and I still stay in contact with the girls. We make sure that they make those connections when they transition from their elementary school to their middle school. We often go out and speak to some of the groups of girls on particular topics, and Mrs. Clay from that was here with our student from Wicklow Elementary did the small groups, but also spend some extra time with the girls around other things that may pop up on campus and that may interest the students. So it's kind of in the moment what the girls need when they need it, and so they have someone that they can reach out to as necessary. So we wanted to highlight our facilitators who volunteer and give of their time to support the girls and lead these sessions throughout the year.
What also has been great about having these facilitators connect with each other is that, we have students who move throughout the school year, and we were able to still get those girls connected when they got to their receiving school. And so even ironically, our young lady tonight wanted to make sure that she's going to Milwee next year for middle school and that she's in the Milwee group. And so it's just really exciting that we are really closing the loop with that transition from elementary to middle.
And then we just have a couple of quotes. We have one from an elementary school teacher, her experience at the summit, Lenora Loxton, principal at Idlewild Elementary, and Dr. Mia Coleman from South Seminole Academy shared their quotes and their feelings around the summit and how they felt like it did support and help their students.
Wow, it was absolutely amazing. I know that we all enjoyed going there, and if anybody would like to say anything, first of all, thank you so much for everything you all have done, as well as the fabulous team that are here, some that are here right now, and as well as all the facilitators, counselors at the schools. We are really blessed. And, some of these these quotes that are here, exactly how I felt too. Coming from the elementary world, seeing the students mingle with the middle schoolers and take back with them, feel that confidence building was huge. And listen, learn, and lead, and the 3 L's. And they were amazing, and you all are such great leaders with it. So thank you.
If I can, I recall last year's summit that was held here and the boat. And one person wasn't rowing their share of the boat, and the students all voted that they would push that person off the boat. And the idea was not what you would do, but what you should do. And the power that you help them create to take control and make good decisions. It was just really impressive. And I have to, congratulate Miss Mills, the girls at my table. This is so beautiful. They felt like they were in a princess gallery or something. They just really felt special. So thank you for creating this. I hope to continue and grow it. And middle school's hard. So really appreciate your work. Thank you all.
And thank you for the shirts too, because I'm wearing mine all the time still.
I just wanted to pile my praise on as well. It was such an empowering event, and I know Assistant Superintendent Faison, we've discussed many times, how do we demystify the stigma of middle school? And I think these building bridges activities are really helping and making sure that they have a trusted adult when they get to that middle school campus. So thank you all for your efforts. It was a fabulous event. And again, it did feel like the level of the event rose to the quality of education and experience and goals that we have for these students. So thank you very much.
Thank you as well. And Miss Kennedy was wonderful. I could just see the kids when she first got up there. And then when she told her story, just how the kids changed just from that one speech. And so, very good choice to have her come. She was great. Thank you all for all of your work. Not easy.
Thank you for sharing the outcomes. The trend in data is what we need to focus on, and is why we do what we do, is to see the downward trend on the bad things and the good trend on the good things. And so thank you for weaving that into this and listening to that question last year. So I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Excellent presentation. All right, now we have time for board comments. And then afterwards, I'll go over into the...
Right at the end.
So Vice Chair Kraus, you're first.
Thank you, Madam.
not on. My microphone. The Science Center we meet next Monday, but I wanted to share with you all that the Life exhibit is open. If you get the opportunity to go to the Science Center, they have live animals now, and I encourage you to do that. The Seminole County Public Schools Foundation, I serve on the foundation board, and we had our Golf for Education, which raised $97,000. It supports all of our programs. This was our largest one. The event was sold out. I thank you all who participated and supported that. And next week we have our Take Stock and graduation. All of the board and superintendent are invited, so I hope that you can make time on your schedule. And finally, the Steinway board, they're planning their annual giving event where they deliver 2 free pianos to students who've worked hard in their lesson. So we're looking forward to celebrating those students. Thank you.
Thank you. Member Pennick?
My committee meets tomorrow, so I don't have any committee updates, but I just appreciate the school visits that we've done. I found this year's SGA workshop to be very much more in depth than we've had in the past, and I appreciated the conversations and the dialogue that we had, and I look forward to watching that next year. That's all I have.
Awesome. Member Davis?
I can't wait for graduation. It's going to be
So much
wonderful.
fun, I know.
It really is. Start with Take Stock in Children, and then we just move on up the line. Missed my last committee meeting. I was actually bitten by a dog, a giant German Shepherd. So I had a huge gash in my head and on my eye. So I spent the last week and a half recovering, but I'm doing well now. I tried to rescue these German Shepherds from euthanization, so that didn't work out too well, but I want to remind you all to take care of your animals. Love them with all your heart. Really. I can't even be mad at them. That's all I have to say.
You're lucky. That's all I can say. After seeing you afterwards, you were very lucky that that dog did not get your eye. So thank
I know.
goodness you're okay. All right, Member Garrick.
I attended the Central Florida School Board Association's coalition meeting, which was virtual. The discussion was about cybersecurity. It was sort of a brief overview of some of the vulnerabilities that our districts are facing, and there was discussion of multi-factor authentication, which as any teachers in here and staff know that we have in full force. So I appreciate the work that is being done in our district to make sure that we continue to keep ourselves safe online. I did miss the Sanford District 2 meeting, unfortunately. Fortunately, unfortunately. It's always a great source of information, not just in Sanford, but community-wide. But I did get the chance to attend the 40th anniversary of Keith Elementary and the gospel choir. The superintendent and I went to that, so I'll tell you a bit more about that later. I also serve with Dr. Mullins on the Business Advisory Board. And there was a conversation about one of their breakfasts that they had had, and our focus has been on that committee to invite other businesses in to make sure that we can have a great partnership between our community, our business community, our professional community, as well as our schools. One of our business members did take up the opportunity to be part of the intern fair, which took place at Lake Mary High School. And this was a fair put on by our ePathways department and collaboration with Student Services, Student Success. And there were over 40 businesses, and it was outstanding. Assistant Superintendent Gard Harold welcomed me in. I walked into a sea of young men and women in various stages of professional attire. Dr. Nicola Williams led me into the the waiting room, because while some students showed up perfectly prepared with their shoes polished, others just weren't quite sure, and they didn't have resumes and they didn't know what to expect. So rather than sending them home and telling them to work on it later, they brought them in, they sat down, they wrote resumes. If they weren't quite dressed for success, the Men's Warehouse was there to help them tuck in their shirts and talk about the importance of dressing professionally. And then they were sent in to interview, and if they weren't quite ready, there were mock interviews, and if they got to the door and they still weren't quite ready, why, they were brought over to a table and they were given great support. So by the end of the day, the 40-plus businesses had stacks of intern applications, and I spoke to a couple of the folks following up, the business professionals, and they said the quality of applicants was just outstanding. And that is the level of support that our district, at every level, at the classroom level, all the way up, offers to our students and our staff time and time again. So it was really an incredibly valuable experience. And if you're a business and you did not get the opportunity to attend that internship fair, you are in luck, because we are having an employment fair for our new graduates coming up in the next, within the next 2 weeks, I believe. April 23rd. So there is still time. I'll talk about the 3 E's in SCPS, that you graduate with a meaningful diploma and you will have a plan. You will be gainfully employed the day after you graduate. You will have a plan, or you will have a plan to go to college, or you have a plan to enlist, and that is in any sort of service organization, both military and non-military. So if you are a business and you are looking for some eager young graduate, and you would like to give them an opportunity for their first meaningful employment, we would love to discuss the opportunities with you. And I believe, so that was the Business Advisory Board and Central Florida School Board Association, so that was my committee report. Thank you.
I know we're doing backwards, but I'm going to go ahead and it's the reports on just events that you've been to, and then committee, so you can swap them around. Some of us did it backwards, but we always do that, so it's okay. I do all the time. Anyhow, there were numerous amounts of plays this past few weeks, and I've had an opportunity to see like 4 different ones. One at Lake Brantley, Mean Girls, which was absolutely phenomenal. Packed house. Annie Jr. over at Millennium Middle School. Oh my gosh, amazing. And that one was sold out all 3 days. And Lake O has theirs coming up this weekend. Like I said, Lyman had one. There's so many different ones that we could probably see a play every single day, along with our 1,000 other events we go to every day. But it's been really nice. I wanted to also extend our thanks to our city manager of Altamont Springs, Mr. Frank Martz, as well as our mayor, Pat Bates, for inviting us on a tour of the Altamont Springs Science Incubator. We took a field trip there and had an amazing time. Thank you to a lot of the staff here, as well as the students that showed up as well from Millennium Middle School. They took a field trip there. This program was a program that we implemented and started, gosh, a little over 8 years ago. And it has grown, and most of the students are from Lake Brantley, but not all are, because we have some that come in. And to see these kids and to see some of their growth of some of the students that have already graduated high school and now are chemists working there, it's amazing. And if you haven't had a chance to look up the water and the quality of water in Altamont Springs, you need to do so, because about 3 years ago, or 4 years ago, we were ranked number 3 in the world on the cleanest water, and that is in Altamont Springs, Florida. So, and they took a trip to China to get their award, so that was a huge honor. Also wanted to, I know they spoke about different things that we all did, and a lot of the things we're trying to divide it so we don't all say the same things. Many of us had the opportunity to have Charlotte County School District came in. Dr. Sean Gard-Herold had them reach out to him, and they wanted to see some of our CTE programs that we have. So we went ahead and went to Seminole High School and showed them our aviation program and spoke to the students and shared a little bit about our helicopter and our plane and the aviation program and what they do with it. Remember, we have over, how many now? CTE programs, Dr. Gard Harold? 63 or 50? 53. So if you haven't had an opportunity to see all or hear about all the phenomenal CTE programs that we have embedded into our schools or even after school programs, it's amazing. And getting that mindset, not just saying where you plan on going to college, it's what do you want to do with your life? What do you see yourself doing in the future? It's about making sure that we embrace every child and every child's path of what they want to do. What's your E is what we call it. And then I know that, I think you already mentioned the national merit and all that, right?
No, that's for later.
Okay, that's later, okay. Student council, I know that they talked about, Ms. Pennick spoke about that. Before our Tiger Bay event that we went to with you, I went to Winter Springs over to Central Winds Park, and they had their end of the year party, and had an opportunity to discuss with the student council again one of their great qualities and all the things that they are doing. That was their end of the year party. And then I'm going to mention we had our fabulous superintendent, as well as our superintendent from Orange County, Volusia County, and Osceola County?
Osceola and Lake.
Lake.
Mm-hmm.
And the moderator was, his children go to Seminole County schools. He's a news reporter for WESH, wasn't he? For WESH? And they asked, it was the state of the schools, and talking about legislative updates, and you know how I am with that. I'm surprisingly not going to talk about any legislative updates today. That'll be a first. But it was really interesting to listen, and we appreciate you sharing everything that we're doing in our county and celebrating all of our successes. So we appreciate that so much.
You're welcome.
And of course, many school visits, and I don't know, it's a busy time of year. Oh, and I wanted to mention the Military Day over at Seminole State College. Dr. Lorenz from Seminole State College, me, and Jamie Haynes from Volusia County were there, and just basically talking about all the military options that are out there. And I have one son that's an officer candidate at School for the Navy, but the options that are available, starting them at a young age, starting in like 9th or 10th grade, to get them acclimated and find out what kind of questions. So we're over 200 students there. So it went really well. All right, on that note, board members, there are 4 items on our agenda where we need a board representative that if you're interested in. The first item is item 6, RFP for audit service. Amy, Member Pennick, I hear you're interested on serving on that since you are on the audit committee? You are. So, okay, so you are there. I just want to make sure. Thank you. And then RFP for debris monitoring. Member Garrick, are you interested in doing that one?
Yes.
You sure? Because I know you just got off a big one.
One or there were 2 that were for emergency services, so I'm happy to do one of them.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Disaster recovery RFP, Member Davis, are you still interested in serving on that one? Perfect. And then the ITN facility assessment, you sure you're okay with it? Okay, perfect. So Vice Chair will do that one for ITN facility assessment. All right, so we have all 4 of those covered. Wonderful. Now it's time for public comment agendas. Vice Chair Krause, would you mind reading? I know it's a long statement. Thank you.
Of course. Thank you. Public Policy 0169.1. The purpose of the public participation segments of the board meeting is to allow the public to address matters within the board's jurisdiction, pardon me, and not to resolve individual grievances or disputes. Public comments related to education, the board agenda, and the district are welcome and encouraged. but public comment segments are not forums to engage in personal attacks against school system employees or board members. To maintain orderly conduct, the public comment segment of the meeting may not be used as open forums to discuss matters unrelated to education, to support or oppose candidates for public office, including presentation of political and/or campaign issues, announcing candidacy and/or campaigning, or to engage in commercial speech attempting to sell a service or a product to the board or to the public. Nor are they forums to address matters involving disciplinary actions of any kind, pending claims, complaints, or litigation against the district or district personnel. Public comment segments durations are as follows. Agenda items limited to 3 minutes. One group representative speaking on a proposition, maximum of 6 minutes. The speaker must remain on topic for agenda item proposition. Non-agenda items limited to 2 minutes. We ask that speakers direct their comments only to the board and may not address the audience or other speakers. No speaker may yield his or her time to any other person. Generally, substitutions of speakers will not be allowed.
Thank you. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and, I'm not, go ahead, sorry. Oh, I'm sorry, there is right, that's right. Nina Sandberg? There she is, okay.
I'm Nina Sandberg. I want to talk about the graduation requirements. Some legislatures want to relax the high school graduation requirements. I disagree with doing this. I disagree with relaxing the high school graduation requirements for normal students who have no mental disabilities or serious physical disabilities. The graduation requirements are already dumbed down. SCPS requires no history or geography at all in 9th grade. It is optional. I think that is crazy, but that's the way it is. SCPS in the state of Florida only require the completion of Algebra 1 as the highest level of a traditional math class required. This is a 9th grade course. Things are not very rigorous in the average level courses already. I feel that regardless of the difficulty level of the coursework, high school students should be required to complete a full year of English, social studies, science, and math every single year of high school. I already disagree with allowing 9th graders to skip social studies. I don't think that the state of Florida or any school district should be doing any more dumbing down of the high school curriculum any further. I have mixed emotions about the standardized tests because under the previous superintendent, SCPS performed various forms of child abuse on the kids and also abused the teachers too to try to get high test scores. However, I disagree with the movement to get rid of standardized tests altogether. I don't like either extreme. It is reasonable to require high school students to pass a standardized test to graduate with a regular diploma. I disagree with the cult that thinks that requiring the correct answer in math is racist. I disagree with the cult that uses the school system as a propaganda tool to try to brainwash students into Marxist radical extremist ideologies. SCPS needs to stick to the basics of classical education, where competence in reading, writing, math, factual science, and factual history are the end goals. Anyway, I'm not in favor of making high school graduation any easier, as it is already very easy, and it is already dumbed down. SCPS needs to return to a classical education model. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Now, for the consent agenda, go ahead.
Yes, Chair, my recommendation is that the consent agenda be approved as presented.
Thank you.
Motion.
Second.
All right. Is there any discussion? All right. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? All right. Motion passes 5-0. Thank you. For discipline hearings, Superintendent, do you have a recommendation?
Yes, I do. That the School Board of Seminole County approve the student disciplinary recommendations from March 11, 2024, March 25, 2024, and April 1, 2024.
Thank you.
So moved.
All right.
Second.
All right, did you get that? Garrick, any discussion? All in favor? Say
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Thank you. Is there any unfinished business? Nope. All right, new business? Nope. All right, now it's time for our board committee updates.
Superintendent's
Oh,
report.
Superintendent, sorry. I missed your report. How did I miss that out of here? Go ahead.
Chair
Sorry.
Sanchez, and I believe that it's because it's read-only for the most part, but I did want to highlight that in there, there's a comprehensive write-up about Seminole County Public Schools being named once again #1 in the state of Florida for preparing students for college STEM majors and careers. So it's a complete write-up of all of the initiatives that this board has supported over the years. This is the 5th year in a row for us to achieve this accolade. But I believe the investment in the physics buses in elementary school, the physics boxes in middle school, and then all of the comprehensive offerings in the high schools have led to us once again having that accolade. So just wanted to point that out and ask that everyone celebrate with us the hard work of all of our principals and teachers in achieving that accolade once again. I also want to just say congratulations to a number of folks last night. The Seminole Association of School Administrators did a great awards banquet for a number of students in our county, but also a number of administrators, and celebrated their hard work by giving a number of awards. So I want to say congratulations to our emerging leader, Ms. Asia Smith, the Lamp of Knowledge Award recipient, Damari Rodriguez-Dillard, the Above and Beyond Award, Tara Williams, the Raymond Gaines Leadership Award, Miss Amy Elwood, and the Dr. Cody Excellence and Equity Award, which for the very first time was presented by Dr. Cody. To Dr. Nicola Williams. It was a really great night. Thank you to our SASA board for supporting that event, for supporting the students, and for celebrating our great administrators. So that is my report.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, I agree. It was amazing. Thank you to everybody that is a part of our Seminole County family and have put in so much time, our teachers, all of our employees, administration, for everything you do day in and day out. All this is why we are who we are. This is why people want to move to our county, because we are superior, and we are, of course, we always have room to grow, but we listen, we learn, and we lead. And that's all because of the fine leadership that we have here. So thank you, and thank you for sharing all that, because we are extremely proud of all the phenomenal things that are going on in Seminole County. All right, board comments. This is for committee updates, so if you want to rotate or switch out, because the first part was for
It was
the,
supposed to be committee, but
right. No, actually, the first one, yes, is non-committee. Second one is committee.
So we all attended so many events and recognitions. I already did my committee report, so these are the events.
Right.
One of my favorites was the senior AP art reception that was hosted at Seminole State College. And I'm not going to call anyone out, but one of the teachers was giving extra credit if their students got a photo with a board member or the superintendent in front of their work. So good for them to have them reach out to meet us. We all attended the ESOL Seal of Biliteracy event, which was phenomenal. I don't even know how many students, but 166 was it? It was a lot of kiddos, and this is and a distinguished award that they are receiving, and so proud to be there. In addition, we attended the National Merit Scholar recognitions, and if I'm not mistaken, it was 203 recipients. Is that correct?
153-ish.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was over 200.
I'm looking at Mr. Rice, and he's like, I think so. We were at...
It was way more than we had last
Yes.
year, and we're so proud of all of those students. And finally, Seminole County Council PTA, the Reflections Award winners, they were so cute. We had kindergartners come up on stage to shake our hands. They didn't quite understand it all, but it was really nice to celebrate all of them. Thank you.
And Vice Chair, I'm looking at Ms. Cardona in the audience, and she would tell me to remind that we have, even though we had 166 or 180 at the Seal of Biliteracy Awards event, we are going to have more than 500 of our seniors graduating with that.
Awesome. Right. Member Petty?
Just my last piece is I want to congratulate the students at the second annual Congressional Art Contest. We have students whose art was picked to represent Seminole County and Congressman Mills in D.C., in Tallahassee, in local office, and I think his private office.
So, yeah, one office
Well,
in Deltona.
Yeah.
Lake Mary.
So congratulations to those students, and I just am grateful that the congressman has focused so much on local, giving back to local students in the local community. That.
Member Davis?
I don't have anything further.
Okay.
Thank you.
Member Garrick?
Going to my community events. in honor of Seminole County, I'm going to pay homage to Pythagoras, who called the number 3 the noblest numbers. So I'm going to limit myself to just 3 events. I attended. Well, I wanted to remind everybody that our SCPS connections are deep and wide. So I attended the Unity Day, 11th Annual Unity Day at the Altamont Boys and Girls Club. Now, this was not a school event, but it's led by an 11-year, she's led the event for 11 years. It's Mrs. Williams of Indian Trails Middle School. She teamed up with Mr. Tillman, a music teacher at Idlewild Elementary, and there was also Dr. Watson from Altamont Elementary, and it was a fabulous family fun day. It was an intergenerational event. There were books, there was bingo, there were dancing, and that's just the type of commitment that our teachers have, not just to our students in the classroom, but beyond, building those connections within the community, making sure that they're part of their everyday lives and giving them good role models. Number 2, we had the opportunity through Teacher of Assignment, Debbie Bidwell, to visit UCF, their Department of Teacher Education, and she was leading a class for UCF interns in their 3rd or 4th year seeking to be educators. She led a workshop. She led a workshop on restorative practices, which before you can teach a kid, they have to be in a place where they can learn. And that was the message of the day, is how do we reach children where they are? And when they're there, make sure that you have high expectations with high support, and that will allow them to reach their personal goals. So it was a fabulous day. I want to say that I know folks are very concerned that we don't have a lot of young people going into education. The students that were there were enthusiastic. Many were currently working in SCPS. No matter whether they were in Osceola, SCPS, Volusia, or Orange, they were all there with education in mind as not only their career, but especially for the future of the students that they were working with. So that was a fabulous event. Thank you, Debbie Bidwell and the folks at UCF. And number 3, Several of us were able to attend the 40th anniversary of Keith Elementary. It was a wonderful event. There was music, there were lots of teachers and administrators, principals, both current and former. And one of the teachers stood up. She was one of the original teachers when the school opened, Mrs. Crabtree. And when she took the stage, the chorus shouted out spontaneously, "We love you, Mrs. Crabtree." She is no longer a teacher there. Instead, or a teacher with a classroom. She's a regular substitute because she just can't stay away. She's got teaching in her blood. But perhaps the most meaningful conversation that night, message, came from a young man. He was in Keith Elementary when Pete Gaffney was principal. He is now at Winter Springs High School, where Pete Gaffney is principal, and he had a teacher, Miss Molina, who was a second grade teacher, and she was his person. She had supported him throughout all of his transitions as he made his way through elementary, middle school, and in middle school, she was diagnosed with a terminal illness. The entire community of Winter Springs came together. They held fundraisers, they helped the family. She ended up passing. But Jack held up his hand with a purple plastic bracelet, a bracelet that was given out in honor of Miss Molina. He had been wearing it for 8 years and will wear it when he crosses the stage with his diploma this May. That is the gift that our teachers give to our students each and every day. Thank you.
And of course, I have to go after you said that. Because you know me, I wear my heart on my sleeves, and sorry. Okay. Because I still keep in touch with all my kids after 35 years, as many as I can. So I'm just doing my committee reports. Today we had our mayors and managers meeting. We just discussed what they're doing in each of their areas, in each community, and basically that meeting. I had to head back here because we've been in meetings since 9 o'clock this morning. So it's been a long day. Zoo, we had the Brews for Zoo, or the zoo, I can't even just, now
Brews in the Zoo.
Thank you, Brews in the Zoo. That was packed, and that was this past weekend. But if you're looking for summer camps for your children, please, please, please go online. Look at all the different ones that are available. The zoo, we have certified teachers that are teaching there. So we would love you to participate in some of the camps there if they haven't filled up already, but Altamont Springs, our Boys and Girls Club, Vibrant Families, Unity. There's so many different ones. And of course, our favorite one, Seminole County's different one, that's an educational one that we'll be doing. And other than that, I don't have any other reports for updated any committees. I don't have any new committees that are meeting until the end of the school year for that. So that is my committee report for that. And now we're going to go ahead and go into our public comments for non-agenda items. And I don't want to, it was hard to read the name on this one, but I think it's Emer Roy. Is that right? Thank you. I didn't pronounce it wrong, did I? Okay. And while she's on her way up, Marion, Jacob, you'll be next. And then after that, Leslie Grubel will be after that. Thank you. All right, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Emer Roy, and I'm a local mom. I'm a parent of one UCF freshman and a K-12 student as well. And I want to say how much I'm looking forward to books returning. Before I had a family, I studied to be a therapist, so I'm a big believer in freedom of thought. And I would never consider defining anyone as normal or anything else, but this is Autism Awareness Month. Many students with autism are 6 times more likely to identify as non-binary or transgender. And access to books sometimes for people with disabilities is a way of validating their existence. So it's absolutely essential that we get back to a situation where books that have been taken off, the very positive outcome recently in the agreement that was reached, I'm really hopeful that Seminole will jump back in and try and, for the sake of literacy, for the sake of recognizing that every student doesn't look the same, there's no such thing as normal. I myself am a member of the disability community. So I want us kind of to get back to a focus of education, books, and respecting the autonomy of every person, whatever they are. And that's where books of every type should be available, particularly to high schoolers, because cautionary tales can save lives. Cautionary tales about the whole human experience, including sex. We need to get back to a situation of taking the book in its entirety, in its whole context, and recognize that we're not, sending little droids out there, we're sending human beings out into the world with your help.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Order, please.
Erin?
Order, please. Thank you.
Hello. My name is Marin Jacob. I am a queer student at Haggerty High School, and I am here to talk about the taking down of pride flags in our schools. Having pride flags up created and established safe places where queer people could feel comfortable and untargeted. These spaces are incredibly important for the mental health and well-being of students at our school and show students that they have a support system where they need them. Without spaces like these, students begin to feel alienated and unsupported. With the constant influx of negative news on LGBTQ people, it is becoming increasingly difficult to stay positive. Without safe spaces where students feel heard and valued, it is incredibly easy to fall into negative mindsets and depression. The Trouble Project states that LGBTQ youth are more than 4 times as likely to attempt suicide than their peers. This is only helped by the prejudice against the LGBTQ+ community in our schools. Putting the flags up shows support and collectively benefits our mental health. The pride flags are messages of recognition and respect regardless of our identity. I believe putting them back up exemplifies progression. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Order, please.
Leslie, after
Ladies and gentlemen,
Leslie
order.
will be Deborah Kraus, then Quinn, Warner, Swearington.
I want to thank you, school board, for the work that you do. Both of my children went through the Seminole County Public School System, and they received a marvelous education. And I want to say that all the teachers that they had were excellent, and none of them were biased or unkind or ununderstanding of each child's differences. And in that light, I understand there may be some consideration into what books might be coming back to our school system. And I would like to say that I hope that we do not diminish anyone's freedom and right to exist through the banning of books. You cannot teach someone's gender, nor will reading a book make you change your gender. Children need to appreciate diversity and the creativity that this diversity brings to all of our lives. I do not want to see anybody ostracized, for this leads to fear, and it leads to disrespect, and it leads to bullying. And may I say, it even leads to death. Thank you for giving me your time.
Thank you so much. After Deborah is Quinn, and then Andrea Cook, you're after that.
All right, good evening, ladies.
Good evening.
As you know, my name's Deborah Kraus. I reside in Altamont Springs. I have 3 children there. And we've been on at least an 18-month journey now with all of you, and you have all been very respectful. You have listened and heard. It's a very narrow issue that I have been talking about, It is a one-line policy within the student progression plan that discounts credit for dual enrollment students, and they are the only students that have this discounted credit towards GPA. So it would be contradictory to the Florida statutes. There's a Florida statute that speaks directly on point as to dual enrollment and how credit is to be calculated and how you cannot discriminate against dual enrollment students. So effectively, for the last year and a half, I've been saying this. I know there are other parents and other lawyers who have come here before and agreed and said the same thing. I know we've talked about last year we couldn't get it on in time for the graduating class, so we talked about this year trying to get it in. I know this year we weren't able to fit it in this year. I don't want another whole year to go by. I do have a freshman, so I got 3 more years with you guys to keep doing this, and I won't let it go. You guys all know me. I'm a dog with a bone, so I'm just gonna keep going. But I stopped into the dual enrollment segment that you guys were having with Seminole State, and I need to reach out to Tracy Kajewski, who is their new coordinator. They've gone through a couple coordinators, but what I noticed is that nobody spoke about this discounted policy towards GPA. Nobody was being informed of it. The students aren't informed of it, and the parents aren't informed of it. That also violates the statute. The statute clearly states that parents and students need to be informed of the benefits and the disadvantages of taking dual enrollment. So now you guys are not just violating it one way, you're violating the statute in 2 separate ways, and it's just becoming a concern. And like I said, I'm a dog with a bone, so I'll just keep going. Thank you.
Thank you.
Order, please.
Quinn Swearingen. How do I say your last name?
Swearingen.
Swearingen. Thank you.
Good old German last name. Hello, everybody. My name is Quinn Werner Swearingen. Now, I don't think I need to remind anybody, but the last time I was in this room, things were a little tense, to say the least. But I'm here today because, from what I remember from that meeting back in, I don't know, September, October, was a great show of strength and community that was in this room. A lot of hard discussions had that night, and I remembered a board standing firm on their convictions and standing firm to help us protect free speech and conversation that night, and help us with books that night. Now, a lot has changed since then. There's the age-old adage that no good deed goes unpunished. And I can only imagine, with the weight of the state and a very loud minority watching and bearing down on your every move, that some decisions are never easy to make. Not soon after that, there was the removal of a list of books that had happened after that meeting had happened. And we can really understand that likely was not a very easy decision to make, all things considered. A lot has changed since then, though. A lot of very positive developments. We have seen Stop Woke struck down. We have seen a settlement reached on Don't Say LGBTQ. And we have also seen state standards regarding book removals change across the board as well. So with all of that in mind, we believe that a lot of the books that were previously mentioned from that list in that meeting would be considered erroneously removed by today's standards. And we just ask if we could revisit some of those and work together as a community and as much as we can to see about getting some of these reinstated and get to a place where there isn't as much fear and division around the topic overall. 3 titles that I was looking at myself that I would like to name are The Kite Runner. I remember that being taught when I was in middle school, by example. There is an age restriction placed on that, and recently in Brevard County, there was they just took away the age restriction on it. There's also the book,
Your time has expired. Thank you. You can provide
But if you
any
don't
notes
mind,
you have.
whatever you have left, if you want to give it to our clerk and she can send it to us, if that's all right with you?
No problem at all. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Order, please. Order.
Andrea Cook. After Andrea, Stephanie Argalio. And then after that, Zachary Riviera. Go ahead, Andrea.
Closer. Thank you. It's my first time. Hello, my name is Andrea Cook, and I'm a Lake Murray High School graduate, a parent and resident of Seminole County for over 40 years. More importantly, I'm an adoptive parent of a minority male special needs sibling set, and I am the type of parent you want supporting your schools. I'm here today to discuss my extreme frustration and disappointment with Seminole High School, their administration and staff regarding the enforcement of the following: attendance policies with disciplinary action, administration's message of being on track, pushing kids through without completing, passing, and ultimately learning the material, and the inaccurate recording of grades in Skyward. I've reached out to the teachers confirming my son's 40+ skipped classes, requesting they send him to the dean for disciplinary action. The only teacher, Miss Conk, who teaches volleyball, an elective, sent him for his consequence. And the result was he attended school for 9 days straight without skipping. I've had 3 meetings since October, and Mr. Pfeiffer finally granted my ask, which is if I take the initiative and email my son's teacher stating his absence is unexcused, to send him to the dean for consequences. Whether it was Lake Mary High School now or Lake Mary High School back then or Seminole High School now, administration's being on track leaves my kid with a message of you don't have to show up, you don't have to learn what's being taught, and it more than undermines my parenting. The inaccurate recording of grades, why do I have to contact the school 3+ times to get 7 grades in Skyward fixed? His 7th grade ACT score, not accurate. We brag about Seminole County being an A school district, but we still have a long way to go. I'm here to volunteer my time, but we're passing kids through with reading deficiencies, educational gaps.
Thank you. Your time has expired.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Stephanie? After Stephanie Orgoglio will be Zachary Riviera, and then Juliana Norlander. Well, actually, no, that's for read only. And I will share that one with you. Will be Christine Norlander.
Thank you. Hello to the superintendent and board. My name is Stephanie Arguello. I'm here today as a Seminole County resident and as a proud parent of a 10th grader at Lake Brantley, go Patriots, and also a professional who spent the last decade, a little more than a decade, working on driving positive health outcomes. So health is definitely my personal and professional passion. And I'm here today to talk about a very important topic, which is periods. So stay with me for this, but I'm here today because of our roughly 67,000 students that we have in Seminole County, about 49% are female. And that's not even counting our staff and our teachers of the 7,000 employees, and a large amount of those are female as well. So I see an opportunity, if we think about the average start of menstruation for our children is getting younger, so the average is 12.6. And if you are lucky and have a normal period, you are still experiencing quite a lot of symptoms that include things like heightened emotions, increased irritability, mood swings. We think about discipline and some of the other challenges that we see and how there's a correlation potentially between what our girls are experiencing in their bodies and what's happening in the classroom. That's if you're normal, but we're seeing a lot more of heavy periods of different symptoms that are making our students have to manage a very complicated regular cycle along with being a learner. And then with our teachers as well, one thing that I know I didn't learn about in school is menopause and what to expect as you get older. So how can we work together to make sure we're supporting and equipping both of our students and our teachers, especially with 35% of our population being disadvantaged? So if there are opportunities, I would love to partner to think about how can we provide period products in our bathrooms and perhaps education so that we can destigmatize something that many of us in here have or at some point have experienced for a big chunk of our life. And especially, again, if you're experiencing poverty, it's much harder to manage. So just passionate about improving the health of our students, supporting our teachers, and working together to build that compassion and empathy. Thank you.
Thank you. Zachary Riviera.
All right, this takes me back to my public speaking days, a little weird. Hello, everyone. My name is Zachary Rivera. I'm a Lake Brantley alumnus, UCF alumnus, and a current graduate student at Johns Hopkins University. I'm coming before you today to address the topic of business community relations as mentioned by Board Member Garrick. Although my question remains for the board in general, it does have a focus on Chair Sanchez just because you do represent District 3 with Lake Brantley, which is my topic. As an alumnus and member of the community, I'm sure many of you are aware that Venus Pizzeria has been a long-standing partner with the Lake Brantley community I was a graduate while you were there, Ms. Sanchez, in 2019. Though that partnership was largely terminated through the revision of Policy 8510 due to an issue of parent choice, something that the board has struggled to address in several realms as it relates to identification all the way to book bans. This has cost the business thousands of dollars, which has impacted their ability to fund vital programs to the Brantley community that have been previously done for years and also during my time as a student. I would like to ask what the school board is doing to address this disparity, considering its mission is to create strong partnerships in word, yet seemingly failing in this moment in action. Also, that this board has made many comments on appreciating teachers and the excellence of our county, and I hope that this translates to actions to raise our teachers' pay and compensation to match our appreciation for them, as we are 48th pay in the country for teacher salary. So I see a lot of members on this board talking about our teacher appreciation, and I really wish a lot of you would start pushing to put money signs behind that, because our teachers can't afford to live. As a voter and community member, I'm strongly focused on the action of my elected officials, not their words, as we have moved into a gray area in politics and many elected officials in positions where many believe some candidates remain wishy-washy between word and action. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right. Juliana's is for read only, and I'll send that to everybody. Christine Norlander, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Dr. Christine Hanlon Norlander. I'm an educator. I've been an educator for over 30 years. As I've talked to you before about the pride flag, I'm very concerned about student safety, especially for LGBTQ+ students. Today I had a written response that I wanted to talk to you about, but I had to change course because of something that happened tonight. So before I get into that, I want to let you know and remind you that I do have children who are in Seminole County Public Schools. My son graduated last year. My daughter is a sophomore at Haggerty High School, where the pride flag has been removed from the classrooms. A very dangerous act indeed. The board indicated that they wanted to hear from students about this topic. Now, we're asking an oppressed group of people, children, to talk about something that's deeply personal in a public situation that's very intimidating. And as we've seen, we have some very strong students who have already spoken tonight about this particular topic. I can only imagine how incredibly difficult that must have been. To support them, we wanted to help, because you don't allow applause. And as an educator who teaches public speaking, I realized the applause is important, because it's at that moment in time that someone realizes that they get that public approval, that they're okay. The silence is deafening, and for a kid, that's a lot to ask. So what we decided to do tonight was we were going to pass out pride flags to people who would be willing to support them. So we could do so in a silent way, which is the way that you all have asked us to do, and we have respected in the past. But this was disrespected tonight. And please, interrupt me if I'm wrong, but they wouldn't allow us to use pride flags. They said flags are not allowed, and I said, can I take it off the stick so it's no longer a flag, it's just a cloth piece of paper. I'm deeply disappointed. What you do matters.
Your time has expired. Thank you.
Thank you.
Order, please.
If you have more info that you would like to share, please feel free to give it to our clerk as well. Thank you. Thank you. Nina Sandberg. After Nina, Raquel Molina, and then Corey Bleakley.
I'm Nina Sandberg. SCPS is supposed to have a properly functioning civil rights office with competent compliance officers who are not corrupt. SCPS is supposed to be practicing civil rights, constitutional rights, and equal opportunities according to the law. My own son had his civil rights violated in the school district for months. SCPS is not supposed to have an equity, diversity, and inclusion committee or an equity, diversity, and inclusion assistant superintendent. Equity, diversity, and inclusion involves specific types of racism, bigotry, prejudice, sexism, anti-Semitism, and other forms of discrimination and hate. EDI also involves specific forms of favoritism, preferential treatment, second-class treatment, unequal treatment, unfair treatment, scapegoating, segregation, etc. EDI judges people according to their skin color, race, ethnicity, gender, sexual lifestyle preferences, religion, etc. EDI does not judge people by the content of their character or by their qualifications or accomplishments. EDI is nothing more than George Jefferson instead of Archie Bunker. You are supposed to understand that Bunker and Jefferson are exactly the same, only in reverse of each other. EDI includes racist critical race theory. Adolf Hitler used critical race theory, and so did the Ku Klux Klan. The new woke EDI and critical race theory cult is a new version of the KKK or the German Nazis, except they have chosen different victims to pick on, especially Jews. Some of our Democrat school board members proudly push this fake woke ideology, not even understanding what it is that they are supporting. They think they are supporting tolerance and liberalism. That is not what you are supporting at all. You are basically supporting a new version of the Ku Klux Klan or the German Nazis, only with different victims than the woke cult has chosen to pick on, especially
Thank you.
Jews.
Your time has expired.
Shame on you for supporting
Thank you.
this evil.
Your time has expired.
Thank you. Raquel Molina. And then after that, it's Corey Beakley.
Let me know when you're ready. Okay. Good afternoon. I'm Raquel Molina. Teacher Appreciation Week is May 6th through May 10th. Since I won't be in the upcoming school board meeting, I would like to take this opportunity to compliment and thank all the overworked, caring, and ethical teachers, especially the ones that are indeed advocating and protecting all their students, including the ones without a voice. Teachers that advocate for all children by speaking on behalf of them and protecting their needs and their rights are indeed a blessing from God and deserves to get a good pay raise. And I applaud all of them for standing up for our future generation, for doing the right thing as required by the law. Once again, thanks a million to Ms. Allabush, Ms. Phelps, and many others in making a difference in Seminole County Public School. Sadly, some school officials and board members have shown their true colors these last years. To the board member that disrupted my speech in the last school board meeting, your unwillingness to speak to me after the last board meeting is very concerning and unprofessional. So freedom of expression only matters when we all have the same opinion and viewpoint? I don't think so. It is our right to engage and express our opinions and thoughts in a respectful manner, which I've done so far. If it is too much of a burden for public comment, then please, please don't run for school board. If you don't agree without public comment, then the member have no real purpose in the school system. I may disagree with what you say, but I will always defend your right to speak. Thank you.
Thank you. Corey Bleakley.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you. I am going to keep my statements brief. Today I was actually going to talk to you about the book bans, but since there was an more pressing matter of the pride flag being removed from Haggerty High, I would like to talk about that for a little bit. Last month, Don't Say Gay was repealed in some capacity. It is still enforced, however, teachers are now able to discuss queer issues that are outside of formal instruction, meaning that safe spaces are still allowed inside of our school systems. All of this is nonsensical. The removal of pride flags symbolizing supportive spaces for people who do not feel supported for things that they cannot choose it is crucial, it is important that we keep these in our school systems. And with that, I will yield my time.
Thank you.
Order, please. Order. Thank you.
That was the end of, and we have no new business, no old business. Is there anything else that anybody else wants to address? Oh, yes, that's right. I forgot. We have this at the very beginning. Go ahead, Attorney Carlene Cole-Palmer, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair, board members, and superintendent. I'd like to request an attorney-client executive session on May 14th at 1 p.m. For advice from the board on pending workers' compensation litigation. The litigation is titled or styled Price Stanford versus Seminole County School Board. It's case number OJCC 19-014885 NPP. Also present at the litigation executive session will be our outside counsel, Juliana Schmidt, Esquire, as well as a court reporter. Thank you.
Thank you.
I believe that we have looked at the next board meeting day. Okay. What time are we looking for that session?
So we did the executive session from 1 to 2. We moved the open discussion workshop down just that 1 hour. So the open discussion will now be from 2 to 4. That was reflected in the calendar that was approved on the agenda.
Perfect. That should work.
Thank you.
All right.
If I could just
Go
add
ahead.
one more thing.
Go ahead.
Happy birthday, Abby Sanchez.
Oh, well,
We
thank
won't see
you.
you before your
Thank you.
before your actual birthday.
Well, I appreciate that. And thank you for the cake and celebrating with me upstairs, and appreciate it. It was a nice celebration. So my twin sister and I will be catching up to you and your twin sister. Well, just put the adding together of 35 years in education, then figure that part out from the rest. Anyhow, thank you, everyone, for speaking. Thank you for anybody that also emails us. Please know that we are listening to you, that we hear you, and that it's important for you to understand that we're in bargaining right now, so we cannot discuss salaries or anything like that, but just know that the money comes from the state, and I say this all the time. The same things for books and things like that, and we are listening to you, we hear you, we appreciate you being here, and we hope you have a wonderful evening and a great rest of the week. Thank you, and this meeting is adjourned. It is at 7:24 p.m. Thank you. Have a great evening.